Okay, everybody, welcome to the DOD-Cast. This is episode 82. 82, that might be a lie. That
Wow.
might be a lie. But 82. Today we have Matt O'Leary, Medford native,
Yes, sir.
UMass Lowell student,
Mm-hmm.
finance student.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to make a lot of money, me and you. I'm not
Tons of it.
finance, but you'll make plenty of money. And then with the money I make, I'll go to you. You can help me make more.
Sounds good.
First, have you ever been on a podcast before, Matt?
Not at all.
Not
First
at all.
time.
This is your first time, and it will be
Ever.
the best time because that's just what I do here. I know we have more in common than most of my guests, mostly because we're from the same place. So
Yeah.
I feel like we just got a level of knowing each other to that extent. Also, the things I grew up around, you grew up around.
Yep.
But I definitely think the thing we share the most commonality on is sports.
For sure.
I don't know if our sports opinions are the same.
We'll see.
We'll have to find out. But so you played football,
I did.
high school, college.
Yep.
So would you say the NFL is the thing you feel like you know most about?
I would say so.
Maybe like the Patriots specifically or the whole sport?
The whole sport. The Patriots have kind of pissed me off these last couple of years.
Right.
I don't like talking about them very much. So.
You'd rather talk about other teams.
Yeah.
Okay, so who do you feel, first and foremost, who do you feel is the best team in football at this moment?
At this moment, I mean, from what I've been seeing, the Philadelphia Eagles look like they are the team to beat at this point.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you can never count out Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs, ever.
That's how I feel.
That guy is unbelievable. He's probably going to win the MVP again.
Mm-hmm.
This won't be his last.
Nope.
People will say the Cowboys, but then again, they're the Cowboys.
That's what
so
I always say.
They
yeah.
do cowboyish things. The 49ers, if Jimmy G didn't go down, would have been an incredible out.
It probably would have been my favorite, honestly, because
Easily.
I feel like going in these past few weeks, especially with McCaffrey,
Yeah,
you just see an element. The team just looks like they're just fucking like, how do you beat them?
they were the
You
most
know?
complete team.
Yeah.
A lot of people said before the season started that the Buffalo Bills would have been, and I agreed. But then
Right.
the injury upon injury upon
The
injury,
defense got murdered. I felt so
infirmary, absolute
bad.
infirmary.
Von Miller out for this season now. They just
Yeah.
announced he was ACL
Yep.
surgery.
Again, I think.
This poor guy. I mean, he's older, so it's just I guess that was a risk you're taking. But we saw what he did for that Rams D last year.
Totally
He was
dominant.
and he was huge. The first few games of the season, the Bills looked like they were head and shoulders above everybody else.
Yeah, they did.
And I think those
And then
injuries,
The Josh Allen injury, too.
right? He
Yeah.
hasn't been the same.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see. I mean, he's a tough kid, so he'll play through it.
Right.
But if you're not the same, you're not the same. Especially in the league of guys. These guys are ridiculously talented. These quarterbacks nowadays. Even like Hurts, who, he's granted he has the O line is just like
Probably the best in the league.
he just stands there in the
He
pocket,
does, yeah.
doesn't get touched,
All day.
barely rushed,
Mhm.
and then that allows him to move. And then on top of that, he's mobile. So if
Which
he does
makes
get
him
rushed,
so dangerous.
and he doesn't make a lot of mistakes. He has very few interceptions. What is it, 6? It's single
Something like
digits
that,
still.
yeah.
Very impressed with him, honestly, extremely impressed. But in this league, I don't even know, is he a top 5 quarterback even?
This year, he for sure is.
This year, right.
But top
And-
5 overall, I would probably say no.
Yeah, because you still got Mahomes,
You got Allen.
you got Allen,
I would have Joe Burrow up there.
Burrow. You could at least say, just guys you could at least say are better if you
Yeah.
were to make an argument, or you could see someone saying that Burrow, but Herbert. Some people like Herbert a lot. They've had a lot of injuries too.
Yeah.
Mike Williams is out now. I don't even know if that's the
Keenan
deal.
Allen's been in and out.
Yeah, and
that.
that poor kid too.
Yeah.
I don't feel like it's all on him this year, and they're still okay.
Yeah.
They'll make the playoffs, right? Chargers.
I think they're 6-6 at this point. So
Honestly, I'm impressed. I'm still impressed.
yeah.
Ish. There's just guys out there that Tua's had a great year too. Tua's had a great
Crazy.
year. What's your thoughts on Tua?
I was a big fan, bro. Loved him coming out of Alabama. He was so explosive. He had a cannon. Still does.
Mhm.
And when you have receivers on his team that are the speed,
I love that.
he
team.
had it in Alabama, and then the Miami organization got him those receivers again in Miami,
Literally.
and it just took off.
I love Waddle, and
Former teammates, they have that chemistry.
Trent, even the third receiver, Trent Sherfield, I think he's great. But the best receiver in football is on that team. The best receiver, the most explosive.
This season, I have to give it up.
The most explosive player I've ever seen on tape. And I'm talking highlights too. Like I didn't get to watch Randy Moss on a game-to-game basis. Really, like
Right.
I didn't really get to watch that.
Yeah.
And I didn't get to watch even you could say Deion Sanders, even though he was defensive. I have not seen explosiveness to this level. That video, you know the video of him running up behind Damian Williams when he's scoring the touchdown. You ever seen that video on the Chiefs? He's running, and Tyreek runs up behind and puts his arm next to him and just starts putting up the twos.
That was crazy.
It almost doesn't make sense in my head how fast he is.
Those are some of those videos that just take your breath away. That and like remember that DK Metcalf video
like, what
when
the
he
fuck?
just catches Buda Baker going.
He's so fast and he's huge. Like at least Tyreek's small, so it's like he gave something to get that speed almost, like in the balance of life. DK is just huge in that goddamn speed.
That's scary.
Really scary.
Like,
Buda Baker, you ever see that mic'd up? Him being like, damn, I didn't think he was going to catch me. And they were like, he's like, why didn't y'all tell me he was on my back? They were like, we didn't think he'd catch you either. We didn't know what was going on.
Yeah, no, for real.
Like, but I think Tyreek on top of, but the thing that gets lost with Tyreek, because he's so fast, people don't realize he's actually a really good receiver on top of all that. His route running, his catching.
His hands, yeah.
Oh, I love Tyreek Hill. I think he's got that dog in him. He's got that he's a competitor.
His elusiveness.
And he's on my fantasy team, so I'm really happy.
So that's why you're calling him the best receiver then. Okay, we got that out there.
No, I am. But I thought this last year, that's why I drafted him.
Yeah.
I drafted him because I'm a fanboy.
Mm-hmm.
I just feel like, in football, I watched a guy say this earlier, a couple days ago. I forget where. It's all about coaches want to make as many explosive plays happen and minimize as many explosive plays as possible. That's why Belichick's a great coach in reality, because that's his whole defensive philosophy. Nothing explosive. Bend, don't break. That's all they give. And I think Tyreek Hill is just like the epitome of explosiveness, and like he just makes big plays.
His release
is ridiculous. He gets off the line. He doesn't even get touched half the time.
His cuts.
It's
just watching film of that guy is just special.
Yeah, and I do think Justin Jefferson's got a case. I think Jamar Chase.
I think he's number 2 right now. Right. Chase, I think, is 3.
Mm-hmm.
Tyreek 4.
Who do you got at 1?
I have Devontae Adams as number 1.
He is really nice.
I think he's the most complete of everybody at this point, and he's proven. Yeah, without a shadow of a doubt.
Yeah, over the past 5 years, it'd be hard to say, or 3 years even.
And let's also think about it this way: JJ. The quarterbacks that these guys have. Chase has Joe Burrow. Tyreek Hill had Patrick Mahomes. Now he has Tua. Yeah. Jefferson has Kirk Cousins, who's no slouch.
Slept on. He's mad slept on.
Yes.
And when he does miss throws, like
maybe in prime time, he's a bit of a but on a 1 p.m. game. He's pretty damn good.
Yeah, 1 p.m. in Chicago. Yeah, he'll be nice.
He'll catch you on an off day. That kind
all of a sudden you got 350 yards. You're like, what the hell?
Yeah,
Kirk. Yeah,
and then Devontae Adams, Aaron Rodgers.
Great.
You see how he looks without him.
He looks. So we don't know when did the decline happen. Really,
we don't know because
he had Devontae.
You had Devontae, and now he's with Derek Carr.
And Derek Carr is not that good.
No, he's not.
I think you could say Derek Carr. Derek Carr, I thought was really good. Not really. I thought he was good coming into the year. I felt the same way about him as I felt about Kirk. After this year he hasn't been good. That's like fact. And he's still had some fucking amazing games, Devontae. He's pulled out some crazy shit. But I feel that way about Tyreek Hill too. Not that Tua is not good. He's proven he's good to me at this point. I don't need any more proof. I was questioning, though, going in because, like, he didn't have a stellar last year. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh, maybe Hill was just because Mahomes. Easy to say. He was the number 1 receiver on the best offense ever. And, like, with the best quarterback.
Number 87 over there on the line.
Who I think it's good to have a second good option because then it takes some attention away. So I thought Tyreek was in the perfect scenario. I was like, all right, he can't get better. No way. I was wrong. He is better now somehow.
He's better as an individual player.
As an individual, definitely. Right. And I feel like it's just it's fascinating. So he proved himself to be QB proof in my opinion because it's just a completely different situation. At least situation proof, not QB proof. No receiver in the history of the world is QB proof. Like,
You think so?
I don't think there's a guy you can throw out there with Nathan Peterman and be okay. You know?
You don't think so, huh?
I don't feel there's maybe like Megatron.
When you have a guy that can separate so effortlessly and has the speed to just change direction so quickly, bounce in and out of routes. If you're wide open, an NFL quarterback can't make that throw. If he can't, he shouldn't be in the league.
I just feel like there's a lot of Well, I think that there is QBs that are like that. I think that
they shouldn't be in the league.
I just think that they shouldn't be in the league. Yeah,
Yeah,
or they're being given a chance because they're young, or they're in the middle. They're in a bridge year. Whatever the case may be, there's probably only 20 quarterbacks that should be in the league that are in the league.
Okay.
And there's probably 12. I have not done the math. I have not looked at the quarterbacks in the league. I mean, pull up a teams list. Let's go team by team. We got time.
There's a lot of quality backups out there.
There are. Teddy Bridgewater's a really good player.
Yeah.
I think. Let me look up. Okay, so we'll start. I'm just gonna go team by team. We'll see if they belong in the NFL or not.
Okay.
Cardinals, Kyler Murray.
Easily.
He belongs. Falcons, Marcus Mariota.
He's all right.
He could easily not, if he wasn't the starting quarterback for the Falcons.
Oh, yeah.
If they put Ritter in.
They don't have nobody. Well, I mean, they've never given Ritter that chance yet.
Yeah, so,
Yeah.
And even Ritter, I'd be like, hey, you probably don't deserve it either.
Yeah,
okay.
Not.
Panthers, we'll pick one. Baker got cut. P.J. Walker was the backup to a guy who I don't think can make it. P.J. Walker's okay, though.
I guess.
And then Darnold's ass.
Yep.
Don't belong. Bears, Justin Fields, he just got good. We did this 4 weeks ago. I'd be like,
This is the Justin Fields this year is what Jalen Hurts was last year.
Exactly. Yeah. And I was saying that coming in, but I thought he'd be better earlier in the year. But the schedule was tough.
But then again, Matt Nagy is his coach.
Sucks.
I kept saying to everybody, I will not judge Justin Fields until he has a coach.
It's not even like a good one. A
coach.
Because
I do not
Nagy's awful.
classify Matt Nagy as an NFL football coach.
Yeah, because how we're doing this with the quarterbacks? We could do this with the coaches, and it'll be worse. Yeah. Because the coaches, some of the coaches are bad.
Real bad.
All right, Cowboys. Dak Prescott. He's good.
Cooper Rush
could he is better than some of these other boys.
He is, yeah.
He started for the Panthers. Lions. Goff. Yeah.
Serviceable.
He's in the top 20, like 25, whatever we end up making it.
He's got a high-powered offense too. He's got those
He
receivers.
does, low key.
Yeah.
And I don't think people knew that coming in really. All right, Packers, Rodgers, washed, but he still can play.
He's all right.
And Love, I think, could play. They got two.
I think he's okay too.
We'll have to see what he's like later.
What they do with that.
Rodgers still, yeah, he's tough. Talk about wash. Rams.
Dumpster fire.
He was hurt though, elbow.
Oh, Stafford is pretty good.
He's pretty good, but that team's a dumpster fire. That's just. But I feel bad for him because I think he'll be okay. Vikings, Kirk Cousins, we mentioned.
Yeah.
We like Kirk. We like that.
We like regular season Kirk.
Yeah, non-prime time
we
Kirk.
We like 1 p.m. Kirk, yeah.
Andy Dalton, Saints.
Serviceable.
How about Jabuins, Jameis Winston on the bench?
I don't know how to feel about him because one game he'll throw for 500 yards and then the next game he'll throw for 300 yards and 5 picks.
Yeah, he's strange.
So I don't understand.
I think a lot of coaches look for consistency, and if you can't provide that, you don't belong in the league. So he don't belong. Daniel Jones.
Serviceable.
He can play. Hurts. We don't even got to talk about Hurts. Elite. Jimmy Garoppolo. I love Jimmy Garoppolo. I think.
And then Trey Lance remains to be seen.
Yeah, I think he'll be good though. I really do. Geno Smith's that fucking
what
guy.
A breakout year for that man.
We
so
love
happy for that dude.
Yeah, me too. He didn't write back.
Dude is a legend, bro.
See that quote he said?
Yeah.
They wrote me off, but I ain't right back.
Right.
So legendary. Tom Brady.
Goat.
Taylor Heineke.
He's been serviceable.
I think he's serviceable. He belongs in the NFL. So how many do we have so far that don't belong in the NFL?
And Carson Wentz, who's injured at this moment.
Right, but he belongs, but he ain't on another team. So we'll say Panthers. Panthers, that's kind of it so far. So maybe there's less than I think. Oof, we'll have to see. Ravens, Lamar Jackson. So
yeah.
Bills, Josh Allen, Bengals,
Burrow,
Browns.
Brissett, and Watson.
What do you think?
Oh, Watson for sure
No,
is better.
yeah,
Much better.
Did you see his last? Did you see the game?
His last game. I mean, it's his first game.
Yeah,
back.
I know. I give him plenty of leeway.
Give him
I'm gonna
some-
give
yeah.
him the rest of the season, honestly.
Yeah.
But damn,
Dude,
it
I
was
mean,
bad.
talk about rust. I mean,
Yeah, right. How about Brissett though? I think Brissett is
Brissett's
worthy.
been. I mean, he's been carrying the load pretty decently.
I think he did a good job, honestly. I like Brissett.
Considering, yeah.
Russell Wilson.
Dude's a meme,
I'm being
bro.
honest, I think he's dog shit.
Dude is
at
an
this point.
absolute meme.
So that's probably like two. That's two now. I think that's it. All right, Kyle Allen, Davis Mills, both
Garbage.
Garbage. That's 3. Colts, Matt Ryan, Sam
Garbage.
Ehlinger, garbage. That's 4. Trevor Lawrence, he's good. Or at least he's got. I understand why he's
He's been getting so much better. He's been on a roll lately.
Yeah, he'll be good soon. Patrick Mahomes.
Given.
Yeah. Oh, I don't even know why I looked at you. Derek Carr.
I don't think he's that good.
I don't think he's that
I think
good
he can be in the league, but I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, to have Devontae Adams and still be trash is
I know.
kind of.
It is weird. And Josh Jacobs and Hunter Renfrow and Waller.
Josh
I know
Jacobs
Waller
is
and
probably going to win the rushing title because, Jesus,
he's nuts. Herbert, obviously, Tua, we like.
don't get me started on that fucking logo. Mac Jones. I don't have a problem with Mac Jones. I don't. Or Zappy. I don't know who's better, though. That's the thing, because they just keep flip-flopping, and it's so irritating.
I'm gonna be real talk. I don't think they belong. I mean, not at this point. I
Bro,
think
look at
that
the
they have not
offensive
achieved their potential.
Look at the offensive scheme, though. It's
If anyone
garbage.
belongs, Zappy is better.
Bro, this is tragic. They have a fucking
sad.
defensive coordinator calling offensive plays.
Yeah, Patricia's a loser too. So
Like,
he's not even a
what-
good
what-
defensive
What
coordinator.
are we doing?
Like,
what are we doing
that's
here?
my issue. I was like, all right, one thing if he was at least good.
I don't have to say anything else.
Jets, Mike White, Wilson.
I mean,
Definitely, I don't think belongs.
No, Wilson's garbage.
Mike White though,
Mike White, I mean, he's looked decent
he's had
so
flashes.
far. He's been serviceable.
I think I'm still out on him though. I don't think he's in the same category as like a.
I feel like this is kind of a thing where he's like, okay, he's up here, and then he's gonna kind of come crashing down to earth.
Right,
It's one of
me
those
too.
things that, like with Cooper Rush, he was going, and then he played the Eagles.
Yeah, so I think that's kind of. I feel that way about them.
I feel
at
like they
least.
should run with Flacco. I think that's
Yeah.
the better option.
Yeah,
He's a
I mean,
Super Bowl
if you're
champion,
not gonna
he's-
play Zach Wilson,
Who's, bruh,
He's
that dude is so
awful.
bad.
hate him. Steelers, Kenny Pickett.
I'll give him some time.
I'll give him time.
I'll give him time.
But as of right now, what do you think?
I don't think he's good.
So we're talking like 7 now that are like maybe they still need potential and time, like Mike White, Jones, even Mac Jones.
Well, isn't Mike White? Hasn't he been in the league for a little while?
Maybe
So,
he has actually. Yeah, you're right.
like, I don't
so
think
that's like 8 now. Titans, that's Tannehill
he's been serviceable.
forever, and
Yeah.
that's it. So 8 of the 32 teams. So that means there's 24. Is that good math? 24, like playable guys, and then there's backups that we like Bridgewater, I guess, like
Brissett. And,
Brissett. I love Brissett as a backup. Sick.
yeah.
That's wonderful. Worked out good for them because they
Yeah.
needed him. But yeah, so that's I forget
former-
why I even
Former Patriot. Yeah. Never mind. I'm not gonna go on that. But yeah.
yeah, a couple former Patriots
Yeah,
out there doing good.
Yeah. Whatever.
Whatever. What are your thoughts on the idea of Brady coming back? Have you heard about that?
Why would he want to do that?
I saw an NFL GM
he-
thinks that that's in the works.
He left
Right.
the Patriots
hmm
because there was no one to throw to. Same situation. Same thing.
So here's what I think. I think he left. He won the first Super Bowl because the team was fucking loaded. Stupid loaded. I've never seen a team that loaded and no one talks about it.
You gotta make those throws though. You have to execute.
And then that team. So now the team happens. That last team, the Bucks team happens. Fournette takes maybe like a step back. I think Evans is taking another step back, but
He's been struggling.
half step back.
He's been struggling.
Godwin was hurt a little bit in the beginning. Then he's okay now.
Look,
But
look at the injuries the last few years.
injuries have been tough. I think that the Bucks D isn't that what they used to be.
Nope. Their
And
whole
then
secondary's out.
and then he realized, damn. So unless it's perfect, like the team sucks because the coaching.
The guy's 45 years old.
So he can't do it himself. And I think that he's realizing that's why the whole Bruce Arians thing, like he got like fired and sent up, and
I don't think that was the right decision.
It was weird.
Todd Bowles is not, I don't think, a good head coach. He's an elite defensive coordinator.
He is. Me too. I think so too.
When he was the coach of the Jets, we saw what happened. And then when he went back down to a defensive coordinator, he showed that he is good.
When so when they scored the other day to win the game, like on Sunday or Monday, whenever they played,
that was some cheese, bro.
He scored. Brady scored. He went over to the sideline to talk to Bowles, and he literally, you could hear him, or maybe I saw him say, he was like, "Hey, that was a good job, pal. You did good." Like he's the fucking coach. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I just feel like Brady doesn't have respect for anybody except for Bill Belichick.
I'm gonna assume
not that he even likes Bill. I think he has that's the only guy he respects.
I'm going to assume, and it's a pretty safe assumption, that it's Brady's offense. He runs it. He calls his own plays. He does that same shit. Peyton Manning did the same thing.
Yep.
In Denver.
Yeah.
He called his own plays, and
it
worked out.
Yep. So, our offensive play calling is dog shit. And our quarterbacks are not like
there
ideal.
is no offensive play calling in New England.
It's like, who is it? Joe Judge and Matt Patricia, right?
Yeah,
they're splitting the time. Yeah, like what? So if Brady was in here, let's just say, and he'd be calling his own plays.
So you're bringing a 46-year-old quarterback into an offense with no coordinator.
I just feel like you don't need one.
Or personnel.
I think he's the guy.
Where's your personnel? Same situation.
I love Jacoby Myers. I think he's elite.
I think he's elite.
From what I've seen, when he's healthy,
I think he's a number one receiver.
I think he could be a number one receiver. Yeah, I do. When I watch him play, some of the catches he makes are fucking ridiculous.
Okay.
Some of the routes he runs are really crisp. It's just he can't stay healthy, and they don't have a team to do it with him. But I really legitimately, since this happened when he was young. He was undrafted. When he was young, I remember seeing him. I was like, damn, this kid's pretty good. Brady trusted him. I remember it because it was guys he'd build up trust with, and it was guys he never threw the ball to. And he was one of them. Okay. Myers was one of them.
So you double him, now what do you got?
Nobody. And that's the issue with bringing Brady, and you need to bring in a receiver. And I think Devontae Parker's serviceable as a 3.
Okay.
As an outside option. I think you need another receiver as a slot guy. I think you get Brady his slot guy. The tight ends are good, talented. I think Hunter Henry and Jonnu Smith are both talented. I just don't think we use them properly. So I think you have 2 tight ends, which he loves.
That's where the problem lies, right there.
So I think you have 2 tight ends already. You got Jacoby Myers already. You got a third receiver in Parker. You have the guy that I've never heard Belichick speak more glowingly about in my life than Ramondre Stevenson. Plus, he's a beast.
Yeah, he is.
Best running back that Brady may ever have or have had.
In a while, yeah.
And I think you got a squad. Your defense is awesome.
Yeah.
You have $100 million next year. And then free agency.
What's he gonna spend it on?
I mean, he spent it like 2 years ago. Remember, he spent it on Jonnu and Hunter and all these guys. He brought in a bunch of like decent pieces.
Judon was a great. I was somebody that was against it.
I loved Judon,
but
I didn't think he'd be like this.
He proved me wrong for sure.
He might win Depoy.
Over.
He might.
I think Micah's got that unlocked, bro. Are you kidding me?
Probably.
That dude is.
Bosa's nice too.
That dude is generational.
He is really good.
Bro, he's like the second coming of fucking Lawrence Taylor.
Yeah, he really is.
It's absurd.
I love me some Micah Parsons. I do. But if you're to have ranked 3 defensive players, I mean, Judon's probably at least this year. Like for Depoy, I mean, he'd be. When they make the graphics, he's always in it. Like who you got, and obviously Micah Parsons and Bosa are probably both like better options. But as a Patriots fan, I love to see my boy Judon up there. I didn't think he'd be like that though. I thought he'd just be another great player.
Yeah.
We always make great players step down and bad players step up. We just bring everybody to even.
That's what irritates me.
Yeah.
Because there has not been, like, the lack of stars just irritates. Like, the Patriots are the most boring team.
Yeah.
Obviously they win and, like, yippee, but, like, I don't like that there's no there's no pizzazz. There's no icing. It's just all cake. You know what I'm saying?
I know. I'd like a good receiver. If you were to get Brady back, I know this is a crazy scenario, but if you were, I'd like a slot receiver, a good
I wanted
slot
them
receiver.
to get Odell. I wanted that to happen.
He still we could. Cowboys aren't offering him a contract. I think I saw, which is interesting because I thought that was like his spot.
Yeah.
He tweeted out a pawn
because they don't believe his ACL is recovered fully, and they don't think he'd be able to make it.
Right. I don't know if he would either.
Which I mean would probably be the same case for any other team. So.
Yeah, but I feel like if I'm gonna take him, you might take him. Say like. I don't know. I could see it happening overall. The whole scheme of Brady back, add a piece, and a legit piece, an Odell for cheapish, and then you got Parker. I love Myers, dude. I'm telling you, whatever the next step is for him, whether it means we get a good quarterback or he goes somewhere, I am telling you now, that kid is a fucking special player. His hands.
You think
amazing.
That's a better option than either Evans, Godwin, Fournette, Rashad White, or he goes to his hometown with Debo, Ayuk?
Yeah. Do you think that'll happen? No, I think they've fallen in love with Jimmy over there.
It would probably just be a 1-year thing.
Right.
They're in win now mode.
Yo, so how about this? Ready? I got it. Got it all solved.
Okay.
TB goes there.
Mm-hmm. To San Fran.
And then Jimmy comes here. There it is.
Okay. Whatever.
I'll do the GMing for everybody. Because honestly, I don't know if I have a lot of faith in Mac growing to be this, like, to be a Super Bowl quarterback needs to be something special.
Well, you gotta give him pieces, man.
I know.
Look at what he had at Alabama.
I know.
Look at that guy he had. The Heisman Trophy winner. He had Jalen Waddle.
Ruggs.
He had Najee Harris. No, he didn't have Ruggs. He had
Ruggs.
Devontae Smith.
Oh,
he had Jalen Waddle.
Right.
He had Mechie. He had Najee.
Mechie, rest up, dude.
Yeah.
That's so sad.
Yeah, it is.
He'll be back, though.
And he had Najee Harris.
Yeah. But you're not going to... It's hard to get that, though.
He kind of has that in Ramondre Stevenson. He would have that.
Ramondre's that guy.
But where's that guy? Like, you saw it with Tua. That's a prime example. You give him his speed receivers that he had at Alabama. You bring that to Miami, and boom.
Well, I feel like that's more of a coaching issue than it is. Not a coaching. I know what you're saying, but I'm saying like Belichick. Like we've never been like except for maybe like 1-2 times have we really like went and got like Moss, and we drafted Gronk. We just got lucky with Gronk, really.
Yes.
But like otherwise, like we've never done that. So I feel like on the Patriots, as long as Belichick's here, it's gonna need to be an elite quarterback in terms of playing within the system, and it's gonna take just like a special defense, like a special.
He doesn't trade for nobody, ever.
He don't.
He does not make trades.
He'll trade for the occasional.
He
backup
trades
lineman
people away,
and he trades away guys for like 3rd, 4th, 5th round picks.
So
I remember when we initially traded Jamie Collins for a conditional 3rd when he was like defensive player of the year level. He was nasty.
I lost my shit, bro.
I was like, I've never been more shocked in my life. I mean, granted, he went there and he wasn't the same. And now he always comes back, which I love that relationship.
Fucking signed him for the 4th time.
So funny. Reminds me, we used to do that with a receiver back in the day. Deion Branch.
Yeah.
I loved Deion Branch.
He was good.
Every once in a while, we'd just be like, oh, the Patriots are signing Deion Branch for the 8th time. I was like, whoa. On the Ramondre thing, though, I got a question.
Mm-hmm.
Something that, like, I feel like is like a league-wide thing. Do you think that, like, so there's some elite running backs, but other than, like, the top 5 guys, maybe 10, do you think that, like, the running back even matters?
Of course it matters. Yes, absolutely.
You need one, but do you feel like the committee can do the same job, running back by committee versus like a guy? Like,
no.
You don't think so?
I don't like that.
Why is that?
Because I feel like you have to have that bell cow to establish the run. Because when you have one guy doing one thing, like you have a guy that runs in between the tackles, like Ramondre, Let me go back a couple of years. You have a guy that runs in between the tackles in LeGarrette Blount, right?
Mm-hmm.
You have a guy that comes out of the backfield in James White.
Yeah.
You have a guy that is kind of a hybrid in Rex Burkhead.
I loved that.
I did too, but as a defense, right? If I'm on the defense, I'm looking at that. You have LeGarrette Blount in the game. Good chance you're going to run the ball.
Right.
You have James White on the field. Good chance he's going to, go out
For a pass.
for a pass. That's where if you're getting guys that can be hybrids, that's why Christian McCaffrey is so elite.
Mm-hmm.
But he's your primary guy. He's
Okay.
your guy.
But do you think it's necessary for a Super Bowl team, though? Not necessary. Nothing's really necessary. You can work around anything. But, just think about the past, 5 Super Bowls. Who's won? 6 Super Bowls. I don't even know. I can't really think. Last year.
When you think of a team like Tampa Bay, who was one of the most valuable players in that run? Leonard Fournette.
Mm-hmm.
Who, when you think of Seattle, who was one of the most valuable players on that team? Beast mode.
Yeah.
Right?
But what about last year? Rams, you got, Darrell Henderson? Is he
the Rams, I think when you have a dominant player like a Cooper Kupp and an Aaron Donald, when you have that and you have a Jalen Ramsey in the secondary and you can just it's tough because I don't know, it might there might be anomalies, there might be.
Because the Bengals didn't have one really either. I don't think of Mixon as
I don't either, no. There are anomalies for sure. Because Patrick Mahomes did it.
Mahomes did it. Who else? I
But
feel
then
even the Broncos back in the day. You were talking about the Seattle Seahawks. Broncos back in the day. Who was it? No Sean Marino. Who was their guy? I feel like it's a split. I feel like it's even, and some teams have the elite running back, and some teams don't. And the ones that win. And I wonder if there's really even a correlation if that's the case.
But those teams that
it's just different ways to win.
Those teams that have those running backs, who is their quarterback though? You have to have a quarterback to win a Super Bowl.
The quarterback's the most important part.
It is.
That's the trump card, because no matter, in all these teams we've listed, they all had elite quarterbacks going in the Super Bowl. So that's why I think the common piece is the quarterback.
Yeah.
And the running back.
Unless
and
you have
and the O line personally, I think the O line's
ungodly dominant defense when you
Broncos.
Peyton's last Super Bowl,
he was awful,
fucking dog shit. Yeah, but then you have Von Miller, who just absolutely
had a greatest defensive game ever played in the clutch.
There are a couple of teams like that, like the Bucks in 2002 won the Super Bowl with no quarterback. The Bears in '85, the Steel Curtain defense with the Pittsburgh Steelers.
It's more when they say defense wins championships, it's more like defense can win championships.
Yeah.
Quarterbacks win championships.
In this day and age, for sure.
Yeah, nowadays.
Back when
back in the day, that's the thing. Back in the day, the running back mattered a lot. Because I felt like you just needed one because it was so run heavy.
Right.
But now just with the offenses so spread out, it's you're almost better off. The 49ers, they have McCaffrey, but before McCaffrey, I love the way their team was because they had 3 running backs that they'd mix in all the time, and then Debo could hop in the backfield. I think that we'll touch on this last thing with football, and then we'll hop on to basketball.
Yeah.
I think that there's too many norms in football. There's too much, no, that's not, but you're not supposed to. I hate that way of thinking in anything, and I think football has more of it than we think. I don't see why. I was having this conversation the other day. You can correct me if I'm wrong because you actually played. Me and my friends didn't play. If I'm the Cowboys, if I'm just a team and I have an extra roster spot, right? And we struggle on the goal line. We struggle to score on the goal line, within 5 yards. Mm-hmm. I am contacting Taco Fall. I'm contacting Taco Fall and I'm saying, hey, we need you to do 2 things for us, and we'll give you the minimum contract. Fades in the corner of the end zone, and block field goals and punts. Or mostly field goals, because you won't have to do much other than jump. Why don't we do that? My friends were like, oh, would he get undercut? I'm like, but don't use him in any scenario except Those two. So you have plenty of guys on your team that are only use special teams. So it's not like using a guy 8 plays a game is a bad thing. That happens everywhere.
Yeah.
So what's the problem with me putting Taco Fall on my team 7-7? No one's gonna get him in a jump ball. I don't think, because you don't go box out. He has a basketball background. I'm dead serious about Taco Fall, and you just throw a fade in the end zone.
Well, in that case, I mean, if I'm dealing with a guy like that, first of all, dude can fucking barely move, for one.
That's true.
And two, if he's doing that, I'm just gonna fucking PI his ass every single play.
You're gonna have to PI. Yeah.
You can't score on penalties, so you'll.
So what would happen
moving
at that?
up.
What would happen in that case?
Run the ball.
Well, then you're getting closer though. Then you got as close as you can possibly. If they're gonna do that, you're gonna get that close. You can then sneak it. But if you're at like the 5-yard line, just fucking put Taco in the game. Put him in the corner. He's a foot taller than Gronk is. Just put him split out wide. You can even sit in the fucking shotgun if you wanted to. Like, they're gonna double. It doesn't matter how many guys. You just throw it high, and he'll just go jump high and catch it. And I know it seems so taboo, and I'm really simplifying the sport of football, which some people have. It's their whole life. Mm-hmm. But we need to think about these things, because I don't understand why that hasn't been attempted. Getting like a 7-8 character. 7'6", 7'7". They're usually very gross. But Taco's got some body too.
Because those guys are usually pretty unathletic.
Yeah.
Especially for football.
Do you need to be an athlete to do that though? Like a crazy athlete, you're already. He's in some sense an athlete.
Well, yeah, because
7'7",
because
300.
Because defensive coordinators can scheme around that. They can make it so. I mean, if
what would you do if you're the defensive coordinator and you see Taco Fall split out wide from 5 yards in?
I'm sending the house at your quarterback,
and
I'm sending fucking 9 guys at your quarterback, and just you can pray that he gets the ball off in time, and you can pray that Taco's slow ass can get to where he's supposed to be in time too. That's what I would do.
I'm throwing two tight end. How many guys you got? 11, so 5, 6, 7.
You can only have 7. You can only have 7 guys on the line of scrimmage at one time.
I'm throwing 5. I'm getting 2 tight ends.
Yeah.
My quarterback.
Yeah.
2 blocking backs.
So you're just gonna have.
I'm just gonna let the homie run. I'm just gonna sit there and be like, all right, I'll wait for you. You go get it, and I'll throw it up. I just want to see it be attempted. Why has it never been tried? You know, like it's not even like a problem of like, because in the end this is all theoretical. But like, you have to admit that say it's 30% chance that it could work pretty effectively. Okay. Isn't that worth exploring?
Maybe, but I mean, like, when have you ever seen a guy big like that be athletic enough to even get to into the NFL?
That's kind of the thing. It wouldn't be an NFL guy. You'd literally need to call Taco, like the Taco Fall, not like just a guy at 7'6", because it's not that many.
I feel like you'd have to that's something you'd have to
do myself.
Take to Roger Goodell.
Like, hey, dude, we need to reserve one spot on the team for a guy over 7 feet.
Hey, bro, we've been struggling here. We can't get a win to save our lives.
But think about the Broncos. You know how hard it's been for them to score within the 5, from the 10?
Yeah, they can't.
They can't do it. They literally can't do it.
Because they're bad at it.
Because they're bad at it. But even if you're Taco Fall, what if you just fucking...
But they have, which is so confusing to me because they have so much talent. The Broncos. People were thinking that the Broncos had a chance to win the division.
How about this, though?
Before we came in.
Because you know what we were saying about Matt Nagy and how he doesn't even count as a coach? I think
their coach might be worse.
That guy, he is the worst NFL coach I have ever seen.
Yeah, that's what a lot of my friends have been saying. Yeah.
So it's so bad to the point where I don't even know if I can judge it.
Yeah.
Like, can I even judge that team?
When you have Russell Wilson, who can't throw
Let Russ cook.
He can't throw the ball
Mr.
5
Unlimited?
yards. So.
Mr. Unlimited. I hated him. I never liked him in the first place.
Yeah.
But, yeah, that just made it worse. Okay. Football talk. That was good.
It was
good. All right, now on to the NBA. Where do you feel your expertise lies in the NBA?
Nowhere near football.
Yeah, right.
Because I never played basketball organized. I never played in high school. Didn't play in college. I just played on the street with Palmer and all them.
Right. Yeah, how do you feel about like your NBA knowledge?
I mean, I know some stuff. I don't know the game, but I know the game. You know
like
what
the
I mean?
Players, like
yeah.
Stuff like that. Where some of the teams rank, I guess. Yeah. You've been watching the Celtics?
Sorta.
Dude, it's a product this year.
It seems like it.
It is a good product this year.
Yeah.
I love the way we're playing.
Mhm.
We're 20-5,
Mhm.
best team in the league, best record in the league. Now you're a LeBron guy, am I right in
Yeah.
saying that?
Yeah, I am.
Are you a LeBron's the best player of all time guy?
No.
Who's your GOAT then?
Jordan.
Jordan's your GOAT.
I have LeBron number 2.
Okay. Do you got a 5? Do you got 5 or 10? 5?
Jordan, LeBron. I think I would go Kareem 3.
I love that.
I would go Magic 4.
Mm-hmm.
And then I would probably go Kobe 5.
Kobe at 5. You're going to please a lot of people with that list, I think. I think that's a very crowd-pleasing list. No joke. Because I think I don't have Kobe in my top 5, sadly.
Okay.
I don't want to say no reason.
Because I'm like, I can I put these other guys, like, can I put Shaq over him? No, I don't think I can. Can I put Tim Duncan over him? I don't think I can. Can I put Larry Bird over him? I mean, maybe there's a case, but
that's who I put it. And then where does Wilt Chamberlain fall? He ruins everything.
I think he's in the top 10. I think I have him like 9 or 10.
He ruins my rankings because then I think to myself, I'm like, okay, why? And it's like,
I would probably have Larry at 6. And then I'd probably go Bill Russell 7, Duncan 8. And then I'd probably have Wilt at 9 or 10. And then it would be like between Wilt and Hakeem at 9 or 10,
and then,
I think.
Yep. And then where does Steph fall? Steph, because now this is the problem. As time goes on, more players are added, and now fucking Steph is like literally in the mix for top 10, and it annoys me.
When he wins that championship, I hear people talking about he's in the top 10. He's the greatest point guard of all time. I don't want to hear that stuff. Like, you're gonna tell me he's better than Magic Johnson? I'm not. You think?
I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't know anymore. It's gonna take time for me to know. But I used to be a big proponent of when did he just. This happens with a lot of guys. They just start, like, since we group certain guys together, and there's a couple cream of the crop.
Mm-hmm.
People will just vault. Like, you'll just vault a bunch of guys at once. So everyone was like, "Yo, Steph Curry!" Like before the last one, he's the second best point guard of all time. Like second best point guard ever. Like instantly. So as soon as he won like 3, really, or even 2, and I was like. Isaiah Thomas was awesome, like, for the Pistons. I thought for a long time, I was like, no, he's still 2. He's still 2. So it took me a while to pass him up. But then this last one, I'm passing him up. I can't. Steph's better than him now. So now that it's like, it's between Steph and Magic.
So you think he's better than Isaiah? You think he's better than...
Now I do.
And, like, you think he's better than, like, Oscar?
Stockton. I think he's better than Oscar. I think he's better than all these guys. And it's not just him, but, like, just, like, the fucking... You know, I watched Shumpert talk about him on a podcast. Iman Shumpert, you know who that is?
Yeah.
And he was like, dude, like, I remember when he was first coming out there, he was taking 40-foot threes. We were like, man, let him. Then he started hitting them shits. He's like,
don't let him.
He's like, I remember Coach telling me, like, you know, he's hitting a couple 35-footers in a row. Coach then tells Iman, well, you gonna get out there and guard him? And it's just like that. Whole game's changed. The entire game, the entire sport has changed. He made the big man obsolete. Until now, the big man, because now big men figured out how to shoot threes. It's just the balance of life. Like, whenever something gets obsolete, then they got to figure out something new, and then point guards will go obsolete because everyone's going to be 7 foot shooting threes.
But then you have an anomaly like Giannis that just dominates.
Just is a fucking freak. And then Embiid, who literally, Embiid plays like Kobe. Which
is retarded.
It's
to me.
so funny. He, like... heavy ISO fade package. He got like a nice.
The amount of shit that he gets from people for playing that way, like, bro, you're 7'2".
Go in the paint.
You're like over 300 pounds. Get down there.
It's like, bro, he's shooting more efficiently than Kobe did. He's doing what Kobe did at 7 foot, 300 pounds. It's freaky. It's just he's not that killer, obviously, not the same defender as well. But yeah, it's just like the game always moves. But Steph is one of the few times that you can see direct impact in the sport. I've never seen a guy change any sport the way he did with basketball.
Cheese, bro.
It was so fast. It was like as soon as he started hitting 40-footers, other guys were like, man, we could all do that, but like everyone thought it was a stupid shot for a long time. He changed everything. Watch the kids coming. The kids coming these next 10 years, we're going to be fucking blown away. everyone's going to be shooting 40-footers.
What's that kid's name? That tall-ass kid?
Victor Wembanyama.
Yeah.
That was one of my questions. Have you seen any of these, the rookies coming in?
I've been that kid. I mean, who hasn't seen
Wemby.
that kid?
Yeah.
I mean, like...
He's legit, too.
What the hell?
Bol is the same thing. Like, not the same thing. You can't create the same. It's not the same. But Bol is like...
No way is Bol as athletic as that dude.
Dude, he's pretty fucking good.
Because I
you don't
have
know.
no idea. I haven't seen.
So he's been playing for the Magic a little bit this year. I'll pull up the stats. We can actually like have a real conversation.
Because that dude has that dude has handles. I'm seeing this dude This dude can break ankles and dunk on you at the same time. Like what? He's like 7'4".
Yeah. So Bol is 7'2". He's more like 7'3", honestly. And this year he's averaging 12.5, 2 blocks, 8 rebounds, 1 assist a game, which isn't good, obviously. He's shooting 60% from the field, which is amazing, because a really good field goal percentage for a big man, about 55. And he's shooting 60. And then from 3, he's shooting 41%, which is incredible. Average three-point shooters 35, 34-ish. So that's incredible. 40% and above, that's like the elite shooters.
Well, I mean, what's his volume, though?
I mean, he's taking how many shots a game? He's taking 9 shots a game.
Okay.
He's taking 2 threes a game. So he's taking some.
Mm-hmm.
But and even his first year in Denver, he took 2 threes a game and he only played a couple. He was shooting 40-something%. In college, he shot a good percentage. He just got hurt. He's got a lot of the tools that this other kid has. He turns over the ball a lot, Bol, because he's so big. But that's going to be an issue with Victor, too, I think.
Mm-hmm. LOL Pistons for fucking that up.
Right, dude. Like, what the hell? A couple teams
How
had
do you
him
not
at this
pass
point.
his physical? Are you stupid?
A couple teams fucked this kid up. We had him. Celtics had him last year for, like, a little bit. And that pissed me off.
Did he even get on the court?
Nope.
What happened?
Just came, sat, left. It
Wow.
was like he just never materialized. He wasn't here for long. I don't even know if it's in his history. I don't even know if it was during the season. Like, what happened? When did he get here?
It sounds like a very Boston thing to fucking do.
Part of a 3-team trade, we got him in February 19th. And then, no, on January 19th of last year. On February 10th, less than a couple months later, he was gone. So, he was only here for like this big, for like this much time. Actually, is that true? Is that the right
What do you
one?
think of the interim Celtics coach that we've got so far?
I like this guy a lot.
You do?
I don't like how he looks sketchy. Like, just personally. Like, when I see him, I'm like, wow, he looks kind of sketchy.
Okay.
But everything I had an issue with last year's team, with the way they were coached, he does it. He, like, remedies. I feel like he's perfect in a lot of ways. The way he coaches is the way I'd coach my basketball team. So
you think he's better than Udoka was?
The only concern is so, like, basketball-wise, yes. Udoka obviously lit a spark in these guys, though. Obviously. And he got them to, like, really feel like they're that good. And so I feel like the spark is still from Udoka. So I don't know if Missoula could go into another team and do this. But which is a big deal. Like, lighting the spark is everything.
Yep.
So that's like half the coaching to me. So I can't say he's better than Udoka, but his basketball stuff, I think so. Yeah, Udoka, you needed to be an elite defender to even be on the court. Pritchard barely got any minutes. Cornette barely could play. Hauser would never have been playing as much as he does this year. The way this guy just trusts that they're all gonna give effort. If you're giving effort on defense, it's fucking annoying and you can still make things work. You might not be as good defensively. That's why we're not as good defensively this year as last year. But I knew the team had potential to be a really good defensive team and be a great offense if we just had some more shooting out there, some more, like, playmaking. And this guy allows it to happen, and it's just, like, it's perfect. It's everything. I still think the defense has a little bit more to go, but you know what that little more is? Rob Williams. He hasn't played yet.
Yeah.
Once he's back, number 1 defense in the league. And we're already the best offense to ever step on the court. Have you seen those stats? We are the best offense ever in every measure.
How?
So far into the season, it should tail off, theoretically, because, like, this is impossible to keep up. Offensive rating, 3-point percentage, 3-pointers made, true shooting. In every metric, we are the greatest offense ever.
There is no way that
I'm
lasts.
dead ass. And it will never
There's
last.
no
now.
way.
But it won't last. Not at the historic rate like that. But offense is trending in that direction. So we're going to see a lot of, like, I think the top 10 offensive ratings ever from a team have been in the past, like 6 of them have been in the past, like, 10 years. Just because, like,
Yeah, it has to be.
just because of how efficient the game is now.
Yeah.
But still, we're still the best ever as of right now.
You think Celtics are back in the finals this year?
100%.
Okay.
I think we're the best team.
Because I personally think that if Chris Middleton wasn't injured last year, that the Bucks would have.
Yeah, we wouldn't have made it last year.
Been there.
But this year we're even better. And like so I think last year you're right. I agree. Middleton would have been enough to keep us out. Series looks different. I'm not saying it doesn't go 7 still. I'm not saying the Celtics couldn't win it because in the end the series would just look different. Giannis was touching the ball more because Middleton wasn't there. And Giannis is better than Middleton. So and Jrue Holiday played as good as he could have possibly played, really. So you're not going to get better performances out of either of them. They're both going to go down. And then you add Middleton, he should
and I
even
feel
things
like
out.
He's
But
that guy that can hit those late clutch shots. He's their closer. So
that's where I think the difference lies.
from the perimeter, I mean, Giannis can obviously pound the paint.
Yep.
But then I feel like Middleton on the perimeter, he can hit those clutch shots.
He can also defend. He's 6'9", so
Yeah.
he's long. So I agree with you. But this year, this team, we're better. It's awesome. I love watching it. It's so much fun.
What are your thoughts on this resurgence of the Los Angeles Lakers in the past couple of weeks? Anthony Davis, oh my God, bro.
I wish I had my phone because I need to tell you what I tweeted because I use Twitter, right?
Yep.
Let me tell you what I tweeted. Let me see my tweets.
Twitter at DOD-Cast?
Twitter at DOD-Cast Twitter. I have a
Okay.
DOD-Cast Twitter. I don't tweet much, honestly. I don't really care about it. I don't really associate with my podcast that much, but I just like to tweet sometimes. What did I tweet? Someone said, like, what do we think about like the Lakers as of right now? And I said, I see a play-in team to play or a playoff team. Give it time. Percentages improve. Westbrook should come off the bench. Schroeder should come back and maybe make a quick trade. Team is 500 plus, is what I said in November, early November, November 2nd.
Okay.
This is when they were like 1-11.
Yep.
I said I see a 500 team,
Okay.
or better.
Everyone was saying, all I heard was 30, 35 wins. That's what I was hearing.
And I was seeing 42 plus wins, maybe 50. I think the team is. What happened was, Matt, the problem was that they were shooting. You know how we say the Celtics had the best offense of all time?
Yeah.
Their 3-point shooting was so far and below the worst line we've ever seen.
Tragic.
It was like it was unsustainable to be
Yeah.
that bad. And then on top of that, Russell should have been coming off the bench. I knew that.
Yep.
AD was still working out with some kinks. Didn't think he'd be like this, but
Yeah.
he backed now, so that
Wow.
helps. So now I think they might even be a little bit better than a 500 team. But that's why I said 500 plus. But I think they might even be like 50 plus win.
50. Wow.
50 plus win team with him. I don't know if the start of the season derailed him too much.
How does the playoffs go for him, though? It probably depends on matchup, right?
For sure.
Yeah.
That has a big part of it because I don't know another team out west that can really match up with the physicality they got. I could see them. They're looking to make some big trades too. I think I saw that they might go get DeRozan and Vucevic.
How?
Bulls are ass, and those
Yeah.
contracts are huge.
Okay.
So what they could do is give them Westbrook,
Yeah.
get them two, and give them picks. And basically all you'd be doing is saying, all right, you guys have Westbrook's contract for the rest of the year, but then they'd have 2 max slots empty. So really all they're doing is just paying to get rid of them and then take 2 picks on top of it because they're bad. And so that it's not impossible. The Pacers had some good trades involved. They could get – I don't know why they didn't go get Buddy Hield and Miles Turner. I love those guys. I think Buddy Hield's an amazing player.
Got that instead of Russell, to be honest.
Yeah, and he's been better off the bench for sure. But that's like you're paying $40-something million for a guy to come off your bench. Like obviously not.
Yeah, that's tough.
So there's some, but it does lie in the matchup. Lonnie Walker on that team, he's averaging like 17 a game.
Yeah.
He's been
I've heard
great.
about him.
Austin Reeves is great.
Yeah.
Low key. Kendrick Nunn's a good player.
He is.
AD's great, obviously. LeBron's still nasty. like, like he's still nasty.
He turns 38 this year.
Yeah,
He's still
really
averaging,
soon.
averaging
Couple weeks.
26, 8, and 8.
So he's just been that guy his whole life, and he's gonna continue to be that guy.
Darvin Ham.
Darvin Ham is pretty
Such an
solid.
upgrade.
I like him. I still need to see, obviously, how the rest of the year goes. I think he sparked the boys, which, again, I said that's half of coaching.
Right.
I need to watch more. It's hard because LeBron was out for a little bit, and AD was out and then Westbrook to the bench. It's like I haven't seen the team schematically enough to where like I understand what the fuck's going on. And still they have to make a trade, I assume. So I still got a little more time before I give Darvin Ham my stamp of approval. The only reason why Missoula gets my stamp is because the sample's just been so fucking amazing.
Well, the team's there already.
The team was already made for him. So that part we didn't have to do. So it was all schematics. I can just watch. And then I can assume they'll be better with Rob. But really, I was gonna actually another question I had was thoughts on AD. What are your thoughts? So he's been nasty, obviously, but what are your thoughts on a guy like that? Injury issues too.
He is absolutely dominant, but every single time he steps on the court, I'm worried he's gonna leave.
Right. He got subbed out of the game.
Dude literally came into the game fine, and then mid-game, all of a sudden, he has the flu. How do you catch the flu in the middle of a game?
You know what's funny? I bet the under on his points and rebounds that game.
Oh, that's tough.
No, I put the under.
Oh, you put the under.
So he got yanked, and I was like,
okay,
like I guess.
Okay. Well, yeah.
I felt like I cheated, but I'll tell you. Sometimes they cheat you though. Sometimes you'll have a guy get hurt on you. So I don't do much betting. It's just this little app I have. But
I think that AD, like that 55 and 18 game he just had a couple days ago.
Yeah.
That's a top 5 player.
Who's your top 5 in current NBA?
I think Giannis has to be number 1.
Mm-hmm.
I barely watch, so I can't. It's tough for me to give an order.
Yeah.
But I mean, just to throw guys out there, I mean, Giannis has to be there. Steph has to be there. Durant, I guess.
He's been nasty. They've come back too, kind of like the Lakers. They've had a similar season.
I think Luka has to be there.
How about Jokic and Embiid?
Jokic, I feel like Jokic might be there, but then again, I'm looking at Jason Tatum.
How about Tatum? Best player on the best team.
I feel like he's the number 1 MVP candidate right now.
Feels good, don't it?
I genuinely think he is.
He's been that good too. He really has. Like in the games I watch, it's just a different feeling. I remember this team 2 years ago. I was like, I just feel like we're trying. It's so much for us to win a game, and we're winning more than we're losing. But I'm like, it's just we don't have that like thing. I don't know what it is. I can't think of what it is. But now it's like when we're in a game, it's like we're expected to win.
Yeah.
And I think it just comes with time, like being at that top level. Now we go in there, we expect to win. We're going to win, and then you should be scared of us.
I feel like Tatum is on that kind of LeBron path in the sense that he goes to the chill out for a second.
Dude, I freak out. I love it.
Like when LeBron lost in the finals against the Dallas Mavericks, I kind of feel like that's where he is right now.
So you're saying in Miami?
Yeah.
Okay.
When he lost to the finals against the Mavericks, choked that away, absolute garbage.
Yeah.
That's what Tatum was.
He did choke. He wasn't doing good.
Chokester.
He was bad in that.
Absolute
series.
chokester.
For sure.
Very next year, he's playing like, all right, I got to fix this. I got to make it right this time.
Right.
So, we'll see what happens. But
do you think we're finals bound? Hard. Nothing's guaranteed in this world.
I think the one team that's probably standing in your way is Milwaukee.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's going to be.
What's your thoughts on Cleveland? You watching any Cleveland games?
No.
So they beat us twice in overtime.
That I did see. I didn't watch it, but I saw.
And they're really good. They added Donovan Mitchell. So the team was good last year, and then they added Donovan Mitchell.
Oh, wow.
And I think that they're doing kind of what I was saying in the about the NFL. There's a lot of things that are like taboo, And in today's NBA, the thing that's taboo, running 2 big men, 2 7-footers in the same lineup. We kind of made it a thing with running 2 6'9" plus guys, I guess. We have, or 6'10", I guess, with Al and Rob. But the Cavaliers, they run Jared Allen at the center and Evan Mobley at the 4. And they can both defend for real, like on the perimeter and inside, mostly inside. But Mobley can really defend the perimeter. And on top of that, then they had Darius Garland, most underrated player in basketball. Such a freak. Kid's awesome. He can pass. He can score. He's so fluent. He plays so smooth. Smoothest player behind like Kyrie. And then they had like a couple rotational guys in at the small forward, whatever, just someone to fill in, a shooter. And they were missing like the scoring like shot in the arm, and that's Donovan Mitchell.
Right.
And I feel like he was the perfect add to that team. I loved the addition. I'm not a huge Donovan Mitchell fan in general, but for that team, he's great. And they genuinely scare me more than any other team other than the Bucks.
I mean, I feel like they could be. I mean, they don't. I don't think they really have that the experience.
They don't.
They probably are one of those tough out teams. Like you see them in the semifinals, they take you 6-7.
Yeah, a team, but sometimes they don't have a lot of experience, right? And most of the time that screws you. But I do think that there is room in the world for like every once in a while those unexperienced teams just like go the whole way. Like they'll just be good. Like they'll be ready. Like when they get there. Think about the Bengals last year in the NFL. Like sometimes shit happens. Like shit just fucking happens if the team's good. And I think the team is really good.
When that team runs into that team with just as much star power and pedigree, that's where you fall off.
And I think whoever comes out of the East probably is going to win the whole thing. Because who in the West, unless the Warriors can get their shit together and be that team that they can be, I don't see any team out West that I'm like, oh, like they're the powerhouse. Like the Bucks, the best teams in the league are the Bucks, the Celtics.
Does it stop there?
I don't know. I'm trying to think of like other teams that are like actually good, not just like record good. Don't worry about that.
Okay.
Someone went to the bathroom.
Wow.
Yeah. Right in the middle of the podcast. It's crazy. It happens all the time too.
Oh, it does? I've watched a bunch of yours. I've never heard that.
Yeah, I don't know if you actually can hear it on the mics. We'll have to test this. We'll have to find out. But yeah, when people shit and piss, it goes through these things.
Oh yeah, I assume that.
Right above us.
Yeah.
Can't smell nothing though, so that's good. I guess.
Yeah, it's something, right?
I guess. But yeah, I guess other than the Bucks and Celtics, those are the only teams I really think.
Sixers maybe.
Yeah, but
Suns,
like.
I don't know.
Yeah, I see Suns. I don't give a fuck. I just feel like they're gonna lose. We're at whatever capacity. Mavericks can't do it with just one guy. We can't wait for that to be proven again. Because it happens all the time. They thought they could do it with Harden.
Yeah.
The people try to do it with LeBron. You can't.
The Nets are a fucking.
They're just a dumpster fire. They're weird. But I think a big thing though, I am waiting because someone will win by themselves one time. Someone will do it. Like Luka could be the guy. Someone's gonna win a whole championship, just playing. It's called heliocentric basketball. It's all centered around one dude. And I'm waiting for it to work. Because the offenses keep getting better for it. More shooting, more spacing. And that, in effect, makes it easier for one guy to be your everything.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Maybe if LeBron was that age right now, and he had a team like that to himself, and they got him the right shooters, he could do it.
They've never done that, though.
But no one's ever done it. No one can do that. It's so hard. I wonder if we'll ever see one day just one kid, basically. Because that Mavericks team, let's be real, it's Luka. I wonder if they won, like, what would that do to the league? Because think about when teams win, it starts a fire, and then everyone tries to do the same shit. Warriors win. Everyone's shooting 25 plus threes a game now, no matter what. And, big three wins. Everyone's trying to get a big three.
Because you got to compete with it. That's what it is.
Bucks win because they grew internal talent. Now everyone's got their own, young star.
You have to adapt, yeah.
And, 7-footers, whatever. I'm just waiting. Yeah, they have to adapt. It'll be interesting to see. It'll be very interesting to see. All right. Do I have any other questions? All right. Actually, this is a good question. So, the game NBA has become more and more international recently. Thinking about the guys we've named: Giannis, Embiid, Jokic. These are all foreign players. Doncic. In a world versus USA game, who wins now?
Right now?
Right now. You got Giannis, Embiid, Jokic, Doncic, and who else would they have on their international team?
You could probably throw Kyrie on there.
Kyrie,
'cause-
he's Australian.
Yeah.
And then USA would be like Tatum, Braun, Curry. Who else? Who's like a big man you could even throw in there? Do we got any? Do we got any big men from the U.S.? We don't got Gobert. We don't got Cat. Does Cat make our USA? Ooh, I hate that.
It's a little rough there.
Let's throw Cat there though. I feel like I'm missing someone obvious.
Greatest 3-point center of all time.
He is. He is.
That sounds
funny
so
you
funny
know that,
saying
though.
that.
But it's true. And then so you can go him, and then like Kawhi.
Okay.
Who wins? You
Well,
know?
Kawhi's not going to show up, so that's.
So
one
Kawhi's gonna
issue
be load
there.
managing, so we're gonna have to play Paul George.
Yeah. Well,
Okay. And
yeah,
he'll also be load managing, so
yeah.
we'll have to play. Ja Morant.
Okay.
So you got John, Steph,
Uh,
Bron, and Tatum. Cat.
I think you got to go world there. I mean, that's just. There's so much dominance on that team.
And there's not that many world
and
players in the league.
Such a size advantage there.
That's also true. Massive.
Yeah.
So let's say that's true. So now do you think we're heading in a direction? This has happened. It's already happened in baseball, in my opinion. Like, it's all Dominicans now. So, things just go from outside the U.S. Do you think that's just, like, going to slowly happen? We're just going to, at one day, have a league, maybe not entirely made up of, like, international players, but they'll just be running the games for the most part?
Maybe you could see it, or maybe you could see something where a lot of international players come to, like, as they're growing up, they come to play college in the U.S. or something like that, and
Yep.
they get drafted through that. Maybe that's what you see.
The G League, too,
Or
going that route.
they come into the G League or something like that.
You know what would be really interesting? What if every team got really good? Every, like, nationality got really good?
Yeah.
And then we could do, like, what soccer does. Like, for real. Not just, like, go to the Olympics and play like that. We could have, like, our own World Cup.
I mean, it's looking like it's going that direction in terms of talent.
That'd be so sick. USA would still wipe. They got dropped down from rank number 1 for the first time in, like, a long time in the FIBA ranks. It's wrong,
It's
but
kind of embarrassing if you think about it.
Yeah, it's just because we throw out the weirdest bums of all time onto our USA team, like, during, like, the
Yeah, that
FIBA
doesn't make any
tournaments.
sense to me.
We don't throw out our best guys at all. Like, we have, like, not even no NBA talent really in there, and we're still, like, usually ranked number 1.
Yeah.
Just awesome. One of the best basketball players of all time never played in the NBA. Hold on, I gotta find this guy's name. You gotta do your some history on this guy. Best NBA player, not in the NBA. Actually, best basketball player. I'm gonna say NBA player. Yeah, he played in Spain. He played in Spain. What's his name? Come on. Sergey Belov? Is this the guy?
Am I going to get, like, flamed for not knowing who this is?
No. This guy, here he is. He was on Brazil. Okay. I gotta find him. He was nasty. Is this him? Oscar Schmidt. Schmidt was called Mao Santa, the Holy Hand. Okay?
The Holy Hand.
That's what they called him. Because of his ability to shoot the ball, and he scored 49,703 points throughout his 23-year career, which is about 11,000 more than Kareem. So in his time in Brazil and shit, he just cooked everybody. He cooked as hard there as LeBron would if you put him over there. He just fucking lit the league up on fire, and he never came to the NBA. Teams offered him all the time, and he never came over.
He probably wouldn't have. It's probably because he got used to just absolutely just sunning everybody.
He has the Olympic record for points in a game, I think. It says Olympics record, 55 points.
Bro, if I'm over there just absolutely shitting on everybody, I'm like, bro, why would I want to go someplace where I can't do this anymore?
I know, and I think he was shooting like threes before it was like a big thing too. Like he was kind of like he was like that. And he was Brazilian, dude. Is he still kicking? He's still alive right now. Good for him. Good for Oscar Schmidt. This guy's
dude's
awesome.
Still going strong over there.
This guy's
still
a legend.
Kicking. How old is he now?
Oh, he's 64.
Oh, okay, not too bad.
Out of B, FIBA Hall of Fame. Okay, he's a FIBA Hall of Famer, whatever that means. 10-time Brazilian champion.
Wow.
For top scorer. Okay, he's a
Mm-hmm.
3-time Brazilian champ in general. He's a 10-time top scorer.
Okay.
He was the Italian Cup winner, Italian Cup All-Star Game MVP and MVP. He won the 3-point contest like 10 times.
Okay.
He's Spanish league top scorer, Spanish team All-Star Game. His numbers retired in 3 different like state or countries. Yeah.
Wow.
So he's that guy, and he never came here. So I wonder, like, nowadays he obviously would have probably came over here because it's much more friendly to things like that.
Greatest player you've never heard of.
It was Oscar Schmidt, right? You learned a little something today. How about that?
Damn.
I taught you a little something.
I appreciate that.
You're welcome. Now you know about Oscar Schmidt. Some people in their ranks, like if they're foreign based, especially if they're from Brazil, they got him in their top 10. Like,
what?
Dead ass. Like, they will for real look at you in your eyes and mean he's the top 10 basketball player ever.
Okay. That's interesting.
It's like, imagine that.
I didn't even know this dude existed.
Imagine that in football. Like, if there was like a guy that had like 30,000 career rushing yards in like Australia or something.
But see, the NFL is so like, it has such a dominance over everything else.
Right, you're right.
There's no football.
It couldn't happen.
There's no American football outside of America, other than like the CFL.
Right.
It's not. You're not gonna. No one's, handing the ball off, running it in fucking Germany or.
They play rugby over
some
there.
shit like that. Yeah.
Rugby's sick too. Rugby's
Yeah,
cool.
it is. Yeah.
I wonder. So we played the game in Germany. We had a game in Mexico this year. Do you think the sports will go international if like that's possible? Like in all sports, really.
It's gonna. I hope not, but it's gonna.
Do you think that makes it harder to make these leagues, or do you think the leagues would just expand to like 60-something teams, 30 international, 30 within the U.S., and then they come to a world championship? That would be sick. All right, go.
That would be sick, but first of all, I mean, it's kind of a boring thing to say, but I mean, we gotta think about the money involved in that.
That's true.
Like, that's gonna be like ridiculous.
Them plane flights, oof. Them out of conference plane flights.
No one here is gonna take a flight to fucking Libya to watch an NFL game.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
You need to build
It's
the
not
market.
gonna happen. Yeah.
I guess that's what they're doing in Germany and Mexico and stuff like that with these games. They're just building the market.
If you want to put games in those big countries like that, Mexico, Germany, UK, you know what I'm saying? Spain.
I just think it'd be sick if there was like maybe like a Wales team, because if you had a big team in every major city across the world, like not every, but in major cities, like they'd turn up. Like in Dubai, like you'd get plenty of people to pull up to a football game. Like there's just too many people.
When you're thinking about that, when you have these guys who are the most athletic people on the planet, right?
Yep.
Are you gonna want to play for this Spanish league, this Wales team,
Yes.
or are you gonna want to play for the San Francisco 49ers or the Baltimore Ravens?
I never thought of that.
Which, you know what I'm saying?
That's true.
You're gonna not only that, you're gonna make more money in the NFL on those teams.
Right. Ah, fuck. Ruined my whole dream. Not that I even want it to happen like that. I just think it would be cool because, like, mostly this always happens to me every 2 years.
For sure.
Because this is what they do in soccer.
Yeah.
Like, everyone loves soccer in every state, in every country across the world. And fucking everyone has their own league in their own country.
Yeah.
And then guys are hopping around country to country. And, like, there's some leagues that are a little better. But, like, in the end, the U.S. made it as a top 16 team. Like, with, like, nobody being that nice.
Which is hilarious to me.
Which is awesome.
How fucking Italy didn't qualify. It just pisses me off.
Italy don't qualify, but you got the USA in there. And there's teams across, and they all play in these different leagues, and there's so many. And then every 2 years, every 4 years, they have the Euros. 4 years, they got the World Cup, and it's 2-2.
Fucking Italy won the Euros and doesn't qualify for the World Cup.
That should automatically put you in the World Cup.
How?
I think that should be what you win, basically. Like, I know you're probably getting massive, like, money bonuses and all that. But, like, you should punch your ticket for the next one.
You should.
I think.
But then you lose to some, like, I don't even know the name of the team that they lost to.
Yeah, I remember Nick.
It was like fucking Macedonia or some.
I think it was
shit
Macedonia.
like that. Like North bumfuck team that they
Zimbabwe.
lost to.
They lost to Zimbabwe.
Yeah.
The Zimbabwe national team.
Yeah.
Well, soccer's a tough sport in that sense too, because like, I mean, every sport's this way. But you could lose any game, like, but when the score is so small, it's like the other team scores, and then you can just pack the house, and
Yeah, I guess
it can just be the end, like that way. You know, football is a lot of time. I feel like usually I'm pretty confident the best team will win. Especially if they did like 7-game series in football.
Well, football is any given Sunday.
But any given Sunday, because of the fact that I think it is like a 1-week thing. I think it's the perfect sport to do that way, and it also needs to be done that way for health purposes.
And that's another problem with if you were to expand it so globally, you'd have to probably extend the season. You'd probably have to play a lot more games. You'd be having a lot more practice time. You'd be traveling a lot more. There's going to be a lot of things that are going to impact players.
The NFLPA don't fuck around no more.
Not at all. And
it ain't what it used to be.
And
back in the day, it was like sign where.
Yeah, exactly.
Nowadays, it's like, no, but I don't want to be on this team.
Right. Players have a lot more control now.
What do you think? Is that a good thing or bad thing?
I think
it's probably not black and white, I assume, but you can explain.
It's probably not, but I mean, I think a player should be able to decide where he wants to go, and no matter what, I think. I mean, if you're under contract, that might be a little bit of a different story. I feel like you don't really have. I don't think you should have the leverage that these guys have, if you're under contract for a extended amount. Like if you're in a 4-year contract, you're in your second year. Oh, I want to go somewhere else.
I hate that, dude. I hate it in all sports. It's just because.
But then again, and that hurts the organization even more, because if you say, no, you can't go anywhere, you're playing for us, you're under contract, that hurts you, because now you have guys wanting to come to your place. Yo, how is it over here? Nah, don't come here. That shit's whack, bro.
True. And that happens more than you think.
Yeah.
And I wonder, it's like, especially with a guy like Durant, he was entering the first year of his fucking extension, and he wanted out. And
well, that dude's just a prick.
Yeah, and I'm just like, dude, you just signed in the same way. And I think that all players, we're gonna end up going to this direction. I don't think this is beneficial for the players or the teams. Either the contracts are gonna be 1-year contracts, 1 to 2 years max, because no one's gonna want to commit no more, because they're gonna lose trust in each other. Like either, oh, you can get traded any second now. Or they want to get traded and they won't play. They'll sit out. So then the contracts will get smaller, which isn't good, because then there's no trust. You can't build a team, all that. Or every player will have to be given a no-trade clause, and then the teams will have to say, we can't trade you either. Because either you have to no one's going to like that. Teams aren't even going to like that. But if they keep doing this, keep playing this fucking game of like, I don't want to be here. And then but if owners keep doing the same other bullshit of like being able to trade whoever the fuck they feel, whenever they feel, like, neither is good. It should be an agreement between the player, the team, the other team. Like, I know it's a lot, but then there wouldn't be a lot of trading. But you can't just. I was looking at our fucking Basketball Reference earlier, the trades with PJ Dozier in it to the Celtics. He was shipped here 1 month. He goes to Orlando the next month. He was just in Denver. This homie's picking up his whole life and going place to place to place, and no one even gives a fuck. So obviously, if you have the power like KD, you're like, well, why can't I move? You guys move us all the time. What's the difference?
Yeah, well, I mean, when you're talking about something like that, I mean, I kind of side with the players in certain circumstances like that, because if you have a guy that doesn't want to be there, that's on your organization.
It's also
because
true.
There's something wrong there for him to want to leave. There's something wrong. There's some kind of dysfunction. Something. I don't know what it is, but there's something.
So at what point... So I think that's true. There's something wrong, obviously, like they don't want to be there. And if I am the organization, I think that way. But if I'm the player, I feel like the player should think it's on them. Because it's just like a way of thinking. I don't know. My teacher was talking about this semester. It was actually really fascinating. He was like, well, leaders in industry, or like just people in general, like some people think this way, that everything is their fault. Not in a negative way, because I think this way. I don't feel negative. I'm a very positive, happy guy in general. But like, I live under the idea that everything is my fault. Because if I blame other people, then it's out of my control. But there has to have been something that I could have done to change it. Whether it's feasible or like, wait, what could I really have done it? Maybe not. And maybe to the general public, it's not my fault. Like, but if something happens in my life, if I'm not getting good grades, it's not because my teacher sucks. If I'm not.
I mean, it could be.
And it could be. That's true. Be. But if I think that way, I'm ruining myself. I'm ruining my ability to do good. Because some kids are doing good in these classes, right. Or whatever the scenario may be. Maybe like, and there's some scenarios where.
Well, if you're the odd man out, if everyone has a fucking A and you're just not doing well, then that is definitely on you for sure.
Yeah. And I just, I think I operate more that way. Like I don't, even if in the back of my mind, I'm like, all right, dude, this ain't your fault. I'll still tell myself like, all right, what could I have done better? Like where did I make the mistakes? Where did I miss up?
But then again, I don't think, and I agree, but I don't think that you should have to blame yourself or stress over things you don't have control over. So like you're a player, you're a superstar player, you're a pro bowler, you're the best player in the league. You can't control who your team drafts. You can't control who your team brings in, ships out, signs, doesn't sign. You know what I'm saying?
So, but you can't control where you sign.
I can control where I sign, but I can't control who signs with our team.
I feel like if you're
I can pitch to a guy to come here.
I think there's a lot. So that's the thing. There's always and that's what I'm trying. That's kind of where I'm going. So say you're Kevin Durant, you sign that extension with the Nets, and you told them because he fucked them up. He said, right. I need Kyrie here.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess he's a bad example. Let's think of a guy maybe that's a good guy that wanted out. Who's a good player that wanted out of his situation? Maybe
Tom Brady.
Tom Brady. He wanted out, and he left in free agency. So I think he did it the right way. He waited, and he left. And I think so.
And then what happened after that? He goes to the Bucks.
Yeah.
He's in a great situation. Then you have a guy like Leonard Fournette. He's having some dysfunction over in Jacksonville. But what does he want to do? He wants to go play with Tom Brady.
Mm-hmm.
Antonio Brown. Something's, we all know about him,
You see the picture he posted?
I saw it, unfortunately. Yes, I saw it.
Yeah.
But what does he want to do? He has that whole problem with Oakland. Mm-hmm. It stemmed in Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
He goes to Oakland. Even more problems. And then what happens? He goes and plays with Tom Brady. What happens? They win a fucking Super Bowl. Yeah. He stays there. His head is dialed in. He's there 100%. He's focused. He's working. It's the kind of player that you are. It's the kind of human being that you are, too. It's your character.
But he's kind of insane, though.
Brady?
No,
or Brown?
AB.
Well, I mean, yeah.
So,
obviously.
like...
But Brady was able to contain that.
I guess,
for an amount of time, at least.
For enough time to where it was okay. When he walked off the field holding his jersey up, that's an iconic moment. I don't care. I don't care because his legacy to, like, the NFL will never put him in the Hall of Fame, whatever. But
he's one
anyone
of the greatest,
that knows.
He's one of the greatest receivers of all time.
For the real fans, we all understand, like, he's top 10 receiver ever.
Easy.
Already cemented. There was nothing he really could have done on top. Like, even this 100%. Last Super Bowl didn't really change nothing for me. He was already that guy.
That elevated him.
It elevated him.
For sure.
Yeah. But it's not like it was to the point where I'm like, oh, if he wins, like, 3 more, like, I just feel like he's already that guy. Like, we know he's that guy. So, for him to give me that moment, like, of him running off the field.
That was...
Just peace. Bye, everybody.
Yeah.
Running on the field while there was a fucking play.
In the middle of a game.
That was the greatest.
That was unbelievable.
I'm so happy that happened because he don't care.
No, of course not.
And, like, the league, sometimes I, like, forget that, like, it ain't a video game and it's not just like, okay, game, practice, off season.
That don't happen in a fucking video game.
That shit don't happen in a video game.
It doesn't.
It's just like life randomness.
Yeah.
And I loved it.
Some world star shit.
It was awesome.
It was ridiculous.
Oh, that was a top 5 moment of that year for me. I was dying. When I saw him, I was like,
yeah. He's over here posting pictures with Giselle and all this stuff. Like, what are you doing?
Like, listen, legal issues aside,
yeah,
this guy is one of the most entertaining individuals ever. That's why I piss off my friends with this all the time. I'm always not the guy defending these people, but actually, yeah, they always say I'm defending, and so maybe I am. When there's someone that's crazy or like got a little like that edge to him, that weird energy, like a Kyrie, like a Kanye, like what's her name, AB. They just are so entertaining to me that like I
can't resist.
I can't resist. I want to hear more. I want
Right.
I want more out of these people.
Yeah.
I don't
just for the spectacle of it.
The spectacle, it's amazing. Cuz really nothing matters. I live under the impression of it's a Lauryn Hill song. It's called Nothing Even Matters. Beautiful song. I'll play it for you. It's Nothing Even Matters is what she says basically on repeat. That's how I feel. Like nothing really like
It's all for show. Yep.
Who cares?
Who
Like
gives a shit? Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
Who gives a shit? You can just grab it.
I can just pick it up,
Yeah. I mean, if you drop this, that would kind of be a problem. But
Yeah, but then even so.
you just buy a new one.
Like I buy one or I don't. I stop the podcast and I keep and whatever.
Or you could do that.
It doesn't matter. Like things can just happen. And it's not good for everybody, but things can just happen.
Right.
So in a world like that, I sometimes enjoy seeing people do the most extreme versions of that practice.
Sure. Yeah.
Like Kanye says he likes Hitler. That's crazy.
It is.
I then watched it. I don't like to look at clips because clips bother me.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know what. Maybe he says like, oh, I don't mean this. I like Hitler. Like, what if that's what he said? But like, I watched it and damn, it was crazy as it sounds. It was to watch the real thing.
And I'm like, I don't really care that he said that shit.
But like, and I feel for if you're Jewish out there, I love you and I feel for you. If that bothers you, you deserve to have it bother you.
Oh, for sure.
But it's just crazy, and without that type of like thought, or without Kyrie coming out and saying what he said about Jewish people, or without AB like being a nutcase and running off the field in the middle of a game, posting a picture with Tom Brady's wife in bed with him. These things are crazy. It impacts people. Like Tom Brady's poor kid's gonna see that and be like, "Oh my god, that's my fucking mom." Yeah. That's terrible. Yeah. We can't think about that because we'd be in a sad world if we thought about the negative with everything. So I have a not soft spot because again it may sound like I sympathize with these thought processes. I don't want to silence it. I want to be gone.
I think that people can be entitled to their opinions, whatever that may be.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think someone should speak to satisfy somebody else. That's my thing. But when people try to put up barriers onto what you can say, Jerry, when Jerry was on here, he spoke about this.
Yeah.
And
great podcast episode.
Yes, that was great. Jerry is an absolute legend.
He is.
I feel like if I wanted to say something, okay, let me put it this way. If I had a thought, I have to be very cautious about who I say that in front of.
Yeah.
I don't think it should be that way because when people debate politics, for example, and I'm not gonna fucking go into politics because I hate talking about that shit, but when people go into that, the passion is so crazy that if you don't have the same opinions as them, they just get so pissed off at you. You're cut off. They hate you. Never talk to me again.
Yeah,
both
sides can be this way.
Both sides can be that way.
Mm-hmm.
I wish that people can just have a respectful, like, if you want to debate something, it's a debate, bro. Like, we're talking about this stuff. We can agree to disagree.
And we can agree to disagree for sure. And I think most conversation was end that way, just because like people are raised differently, different perspectives, all that.
Yeah.
But sometimes people just need to learn, and I think Kanye is a good example of like I watched it because I watched the guy. There's a TikTok. This guy made. He's a Jewish guy, and he was very calm. And he went through Dave Chappelle's. He opened up for SNL. He hosted SNL recently, right after Kanye said some. Before he said he liked Hitler, but when he was saying the Jews were running everything, were massively controversial. And Dave Chappelle talked about it. And the guy, very calm Jewish dude, he just talked about why it's so bad, what Dave Chappelle was saying and what Kanye was saying. And he's like, this is the type of rhetoric that, killed my grandfather and his 8 siblings, and this is the type of rhetoric that killed my grandmother's 3 sisters, and this is the type of rhetoric that got us here. And he showed real examples. He brought you through the whole line. This is where it started. This is how it evolved. This is what it became. And now we're in the starting phase again. It's making us all uneasy. And I was like, wow, how well did he just put that? So calm. He was monotone the whole way. He was very calm about it.
Professional. Yeah.
And he said he's giving his flowers to Dave Chappelle. He's like, Dave Chappelle's a great comedian. Kanye West, great musician. But I think with this topic, something that I know more about, I'd love to talk to them about it. I was like, oh my God.
Talk to them.
I'd love to talk. That's amazing.
Not fucking try to cancel them.
I don't want them to go away.
Not try to just mutilate their character, their name.
Yeah.
All this garbage.
It was amazing. And I really felt like I learned something. Like me personally, being a guy that I've been told I defend these people. I don't like hearing that because it makes me feel like I'm
with AB, I've defended AB the NFL player.
Me too.
Not AB the man.
And this is where I get jammed up, because I just want everyone to keep talking, but sometimes, and this might be wrong, I think the only way to do that is to keep people from just calling them awful, because if things you don't like, you don't see, and on your phones, on your feeds and all that, you don't. So I feel like I feel obligated to keep the conversation open, because how else is Kanye gonna learn that that's not right to say? And his whole idea was he loves everybody. He wants people to forgive people, and it's he's fucked up in the head for sure too.
You're right.
But and so is AB, and I don't think Kyrie is though. I think Kyrie is just a contrarian.
I don't know about him.
But they just I think that still if they got to see that video I got to see, maybe they'd think a little differently. Maybe they wouldn't, and they'd want to talk, and they'd be like, hey, well, I think, a big thing with Dave Chappelle is, comparing these issues to black issues. That's what he did with the transgender stuff, too.
Yeah.
He compared those issues to black issues. The transgender stuff, he's I feel like they came so far so quick, and the black people was such a struggle for so long. Why haven't we gotten that same reciprocation? That's what his issue was. It was more with, the acceptance of these people, not with the people themselves. And I think that came through him talking to more people about it. And I've just seen the value of myself. I'll learn something. I learned with that Jewish guy telling me something on TikTok. I learned a lot through that. And because I was able to listen. And basically that's kind of one-ended conversation, but it's still a conversation. I got to think, and I was like, you know what? He's right. Dave Chappelle kind of was out of pocket on that. I don't think Dave Chappelle should be stopped from saying what he said. But he was out of pocket, and I didn't think that way before. And I just hope everyone can learn that way, just by talking to somebody or hearing what someone else has to say about it.
Yeah. That's why I don't like to go into sort of these topics like this, because one, I don't think I know enough to even speak on it, because I might say something that is either not true or just people will take the wrong way, which is the biggest thing about it. So that's kind of what I think about it.
For sure. All right, actually, you know what, Matt? Guess how long we've been going for?
How long?
Hour 36.
Really?
Yeah. Could you believe it? What would you have guessed?
I would have guessed fucking 40, 45 minutes.
Yeah, no, time flies when you're down here in the crypt.
That's
I had a good look at it the whole time, so I always have a gauge of how much time we were in. But yeah, so that's it probably will only come up to an hour 30. But yeah, hour 30. How was your experience on the DOD-Cast?
Dude, it was crazy.
Just a time warp, isn't it?
Yeah, I wish it didn't go by so fast.
I know.
We were just so locked in. You know what I'm saying?
That's what happens, because you get locked in on a couple conversations. Next thing you know, you're talking about the next thing, and once it rolls, it's just time evaporates. And I guess that's how I know this is good and it's fun.
Yeah.
Every time I've asked somebody, they've been surprised with how much time we've been down here, which to me makes me feel like I'm doing a good job.
Yeah, you definitely are.
because they, time flies when you're having fun, and I'm gonna
Yeah.
live by that.
Yeah,
So,
for sure.
let me shake your hand. This was an absolute pleasure to have you on.
My man.
Good to have some Medford up in here.
Absolutely.
Follow, like, subscribe. Shouldn't they do all that stuff? Anybody watching, shouldn't they all do that?
Bro, they should have done it already.
Should have been done it. That's what I'm
What
saying.
are we talking about?
We
Why are you here if you're not following already?
follow? You should be subscribing. You
You know
should
what I'm
be
saying?
liking some videos if you have the time. I don't like videos on YouTube. Do you like videos on YouTube? Like,
Do I like
just
videos
generally?
on YouTube?
Do you like click the like button?
Oh, of course I do. Because
Yeah.
I like every single video.
Every single one, 10 times over.
Yeah.
Exactly. So like that's just like be like Matt.
Yeah.
You know, be like Mr. O'Leary
You're
here.
like me.
And
And hopefully I'll be back.
hopefully you'll be back. Once I get to 100, I'm gonna start doing repeats, and I'll probably
Yeah.
start with local people and people that didn't have like. Now my camera's better, my mics are better. I'll start with
Yeah.
the people that didn't have the good stuff like you're gonna have, but for sure you'll be back. I had a great time.
Maybe next time we'll be, shooting the shit next time
Yeah, next time we can get into more like I guess different stuff. You know what's funny though? I don't get to talk about sports much on this.
Yeah.
And I love sports so much. It's such a big part of who I am. And I know it's a place where we had common ground. And we
Yeah.
did get into other things too, which is great.
Yeah. You can talk about sports for as long as you
I could.
feel like it.
It's crazy. But yeah, thank you everybody for watching. Thank you for being here. And
course.
I'll see you on the next one. Bye bye.